I would say that when it comes to practicing medicine, most of the medicine comes from basically from plants. A little bit from products of animals, some minerals, but mostly are what I call, it is based on using the medical qualities of plants, both for enhancing health and, on the other hand, for curing maladies. The maladies described are internal maladies, and which go really from, I would say, tuberculosis to leprosy, to eye damages, big discussion of eye damages, and different sprains, cuts, and other forms of damage. But basically, as I say, the medicine is mostly herbal, and it is based on using herbs of different kinds. Some of them can be defined. Some of them can be, the problem with quite a number of them is that we cannot define them precisely, or if they are defined, most of them were not tried in modern times. Now, so the question about their merit in use still remains a question, because for several reasons, Talmudic medicine has been almost completely discarded, even by Jewish practitioners, because, and here I'm coming to one definition, the medicine in the Talmud is, even though they lived in close physical proximity to some of the biggest scientific centers of the time, to Alexandria, which was a big scientific center that was also, in a way, fostering or creating some of what became the medical theory of the time. Galenus, that was in the same neighborhood. Now, what is interesting about the Talmudic medicine is that it practically ignores almost all this part of Greek medicine. With all the proximity and with the knowledge, and we know more than that, that there were indeed doctors that came from Alexandria, teaching or at least transmitting their knowledge to others. But there is no influence on Talmudic medicine, at least about practicing medicine. It is strange, but that's a kind of statement of the way. Because of that, later medical practitioners, Jewish medical practitioners, in a way discarded the Talmudic medicine because it was not a la mode, because it was not a part of what was the accepted medical knowledge of the time, because the Talmud doesn't deal with what I call with the black, green, white, and red colors. So it just doesn't deal with these things. It is completely ignores them, even though they are on the other hand, they are contemporaries. That would go to another, possibly possibly it was because the Talmudic medicine, and it should be taken very seriously, because the people were mostly observers and experimentalists. When it came to medicine, they didn't tend to indulge in theorizing, but rather in experimental, practical work. So any kind of a theory about the nature of illness, the sources of illness, they basically ignore. When they speak about sources of illness, they speak about it in a very close way. A certain thing, certain malady is created by misuse of this part of the body, by doing certain things that are harmful in this particular case, but not by any kind of a generalized notion like the different colors or the different viruses or bacteria. It is very, very practical, in that sense, very close to folk medicine. On the other hand, again, for halachic and other reasons, there was a great need of defining at least specific problems. One of them was, for example, anatomical. It is clear that they used their and Greek knowledge and about finding how many bones are in the body. The way they did it is not the way it is done today, and incidentally it explains also if there are differences in numbers between their medical results and the medical results of today. They are mostly differences because of they are results of different techniques. In our time, bones are taken out of decayed bodies. In those times, they had a faster form, which was boiling a body of a person to the point in which the flesh, completely the flesh and some of the other parts completely were dissolved, and so only the bones remained. That caused practically a different form of numbering and of counting parts of the body. So, in that sense, they were very advanced in medical experimentation, including mentioning of surgery. Now, the surgery there seems to be quite advanced, ophthalmology, and also some surgery on the eyes, surgery on other parts. They clearly had made, at least on animals, hysterectomies, in which the animals continue to live. Different parts of research. There is, again, because of the halachic importance of the thing, the Talmud contains the best definitions, at least best up to the point of the nothing more advanced reappeared in Europe up to the 17th or 18th century. A very well-defined, definition of gonorrhea, and not so much of a treatment, but of defining it and recognizing it, and for example, making a differentiation between gonorrhea and semen, which was not known in the medical science in many other places.